kind of stroll down to the Strip, get into the valet parking right next to the restaurant, go in, have a nice time, just kind of kick back, have a couple of drinks, eat some of the best food in Las Vegas. That's what Joe's is all about. Make a reservation. Have some fun for yourself at 702-792-9222. What is our Joe's Angle of the Day, Teddy Covers?
Well, this one's a little bit confusing, but it's interesting. MLB. Division home favorites in this price range from minus 135 to minus 199. So solid favorites, but not ridiculous favorites. That have been a favorite of minus 110 or more in 1 or 0 games of their last 10.
Say that again?
Here's the parameter, okay? It's a favorite, division favorite at home.
135 to 199.
199. They've been a favorite of minus 110 or more 1 time or less in their last 10 games. So they haven't been favored.
Okay.
In their last 10. Only 1 or 0 times their last 10. And now are favored in this range at home in a division game of minus 135 to 199. Well, they're 80 and 25 over the last 4 seasons. The Mets have been a dog 8 times in their last 10. They were minus 105 in 1 game, and they were minus 123 with DeGrom on the hill back on June 18th. The Mets minus 138 is the Joe's Angle of the Day, and you give me a disappointed look.
Well, I don't like the side very much.
No, me
neither. I don't. I'm not playing against it. Not because of that angle. I'm just not playing against DeGrom. But that's one of the more convoluted angles that Ralph's come up with.
Sure, it's just interesting. But I mean,
he's got a lot of great angles, but it's amazing that he comes up with this stuff.
And sometimes in summertime, you got to dig. But to compare it, you take the rest of all home favorites of minus 135 to minus 199 since 2016, they're 60%, whereas this particular parameter have 76% favorite victories.
Back to the whatever we're calling them, the capsules.
Halfway point.
Yeah. And we're going to finish up the AL East, and then we'll leave the NL for Monday. Because it'll still be roughly the halfway point of the season. The Houston Astros are 50 and 32. And between the injuries and the big lead, and they know they're going to be in the playoffs, et cetera, they're not playing really well. And here's the weird part of it. The big lead is now only 4.5 games. Only 4.5 games in front of Texas. So the Astros need to push the on button once again. And sometimes that's not the easiest thing to do. They're not playing very good baseball right now.
If you played Houston in every game this season, they're a 50-win team right now, playing 6-10 baseball. If you bet on them in every game, you've lost money. And that tells you where they're priced. All that being said, and they've been an under team as well. There haven't been a lot of under teams in MLB. The Astros 8 games to the under. You know, Tampa's been an under team, and obviously the Cincinnati Reds have been the under team. Cleveland not far behind, but there haven't been a whole lot of them.
Right.
Is my point. But Houston is one of those teams. We saw it happen in the first half, where when they get on a roll, you know, they're going to win 14 out of 16 by multi-run margins. And that's a team, like, if you can spot that streak when it comes and ride it, and that's a run line streak to ride, you know, because we know what this lineup's capable of doing, and it hasn't really done it in the first half of the campaign. And as you said, right now, ice cold, been betting against the Astros for the last 2 weeks. You made a fortune.
Oh, you've bought a new car. And the reason that things are getting tighter than expected, only 4 games back in the loss column, the stunning Texas Rangers, the runaway consensus as the most surprising team of the first half, and I certainly would think it shows up in the dollars and cents for those who've been wagering on the Rangers.
Yeah, number 2 in all of MLB in profitability, basically 1 unit behind Minnesota. They're a lot better than Minnesota on the run line. I'll tell you that. And there's no strong over-under bent for Texas, which tells us that their pitching has been as big a portion of this as their bats have. But, you know, it's a Rangers team that has been big moneymakers at home, and all of a sudden they're starting to win on the road, too. Do you think Texas can hang through into September?
Well, I do think Texas is now at the point where they're going to look at things as we go into the last month until the trade deadline arrives, and it's a hard trade deadline this year. That's July 31st, that's it. No more trades after that. No more waiver wire stuff in August. I think they're going to look at this and say, hey, look, we're going into a new stadium next year. What better way to go into the new stadium than with a playoff performance? We got a shot. Let's go out and get somebody. And if they don't have to overpay, and they won't have to with most of these teams that are looking to sell because most of them want to get rid of contracts that are expensive, I wouldn't be surprised if the Rangers add a couple of guys at the deadline and firm up their chances of making the playoffs in what is turning into a delightful season for Texas fans. The big keys, of course, that they have to keep Mike Minor and Lance Lynn pitching at the level they're at. As long as they do, if these guys maintain their form, and Minor certainly did again with his most recent start, a complete game, and Lynn's been on a nice roll. You get pitching like that in your top two spots, you're going to hang in.
And the markets hate Minor, and they really don't like Lynn very much either. Minor's got the advanced metrics. He doesn't get enough strikeouts.
Lynn's
a fly baller. I mean,
the market hasn't yet factored spin rate in as one of their big keys. Minor's got like the most spectacular spin rate in all of baseball this year. That's one of the coming. That's the coming mania. You watch. It's going to be spin rate.
So if the season ended today, wild card, Tampa and Texas, Cleveland's a half game out, Boston's 1.5, Oakland's 2.5, the Angels 3.5, the White Sox 6.5.
Let's talk about Oakland and the Angels in that order. Oakland, they took a big hit, really big hit.
Sure.
With the pitcher.
Montas goes.
He's done for the year.
Yeah.
And
if they make the playoffs, he can come back, right?
No, he would not be eligible for the playoffs.
80. I thought it was 80 games.
80 in no playoffs.
Oh.
So
it's like you have to go to your room
he would
and
actually
you don't get any
be,
supper.
I think he'll be eligible for like the last week and a half of the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
But he won't be able to pitch in the playoffs, which I love that part of the rule, by the way. I think that makes it a real punishment. And Oakland's got some guys that are real close to ready in the minors. So I don't think Oakland's going to buy, but I think they're probably going to call up a couple of guys and try and sneak in. I don't think they're going to make it, but they're in the mix. And, Billy Beane and Bob Melvin have a tendency to get the max out of what they've got there in Oakland, and they're doing it this year.
I mean, look at the mustache man. Mengden came in the other day and pitched brilliantly. I mean, Oakland, it always feels like they're Tampa in terms of the smoke and mirrors. It does tend to feel like the A's are one of these teams that, all right, if they catch lightning in a bottle, they're going to win 90, 92, 94 games. But, boy, they of the two teams, I think there's more upside potentially with the Angels.
So do I.
Because their bats, that's a good lineup. And Oakland just can't match their run production as we saw last night.
The question on the Angels is, can the pitching hold up? That's going to be the key for them. 42-40 at this point, which is good considering where they've been. The offense has definitely picked it up. Trout's the best player in the game. Upton being back in the lineup is a plus. Ohtani has definitely helped as the DH. They've gotten tremendous production out of Tommy La Stella, who's had an amazing first half.
Yeah, he has.
David Fletcher can play basically whatever position you want him to play. David Fletcher can play and do a good job and hit close to 300.
And you haven't even mentioned Cole Calhoun. He's got 17 dingers.
Cole Calhoun's banging the ball. Pretty good offense. I don't know if the pitching can hold up. Canning's a young guy. Is he going to hit the wall as far as innings pitched are concerned? They've still got a couple of really shaky spots at the back end. Jaime Barria is now holding down one of the spots. That's shaky. They've got the opener / Felix Pena. That's shaky. They're going to have to rely an awful lot on Canning and Heaney. And I don't know. I know the market seems to be bullish on the Angels right now, but I took a long look at them this morning, and it was like, I just don't think they're as good as some of these other teams. I just think there are too many question marks, and I don't know if the Angels will go out and buy. I think they need another pitcher, and I don't know that they're going to go get one.
Well, I mean, because in theory they're supposed to have the prospects like Oakland has, and both teams have had all the injuries with the prospects that have kept. But Osmus is a guy that you hate.
Yeah, well,
and
he's actually doing a pretty good job with this team. And by the way, I know Ohtani has started to throw, but I don't think you can include him as a pitcher for the rest of the year. I don't think he will pitch at all. So they're going to have to go out. To me, they're going to have to go out and get somebody if they want to make the playoffs. Otherwise, I think they fall short. And then the Seattle Mariners, who will sell everything they've got. Actually, have started to play some better ball lately. 37-48. We'll see what happens on the over and under. I still think the under is a favorite at this point, but
yeah, but the 37-48 is not real because they were 13-2.
Yep.
They're 20 with 13-2, so they'll be 24-46. That's the Seattle Mariners.
Right, but they are 6-4 in their last 10. So they straightened it out a little bit, but they're gonna make some more deals. D. Gordon's going to be gone. They'll probably trade somebody else if they can. DePato loves the deal.
Yeah.
So, there's nobody who likes the deal more. So look for Seattle to be selling actively at the deadline. Break time. We'll come back. We'll get to our Wager Talk marquee matchup, which is the A's and Angels next.
The Las Vegas Sports Line.
If you've got a piece of jewelry that needs repair, what do? Go see Cliff Miller at MJ Christensen, and they can do the repairs.
Absolutely. Since 1939, where does Las Vegas go to have their treasures repaired and maintained? MJ Christensen Diamonds. We take care of everything. I love that because you come to me with a problem and you leave problem solved.
MJ Christensen, something special for the love of your life. Located at Boca Park. Follow us on Facebook for exclusive offers.
What's hot today? It's time for the Wager Talk marquee matchup of the night. WagerTalk.com. Start winning now.
Well, we just did our American League previews. We never got to the National League. We'll do that on Monday when Marco's in. Teddy covers us here. I'm Dave Koken. And the last two teams we looked at, omitting Seattle, were the A's and Angels, who continue a series tonight. The Angels getting the upper hand in Game 1 with an 8-3 victory. And Oakland will try and even it up tonight. Mike Fiers on the mound for the Oakland A's. It will be the opener. I think it's Ramirez opening for the Angels, and then Felix Pena will be the primary tonight. That's what we call it now, the primary. And that's a combination I'm not real excited about on the Oakland side, on the Angels side. But the problem is Mike Fiers, and this one's easy, okay, in terms of Fiers as to why. He's a fly ball pitcher. That really is something that plays into his strength pitching in Oakland, which is a good park to be a fly ball pitcher in. Not so good on the road. In his home road metrics this year, there is a big, big split, Teddy. He's been way better at home than on the road.
And the Angels are clocking the ball.
Yes, they are.
It is a potent lineup that is taking advantage of pitchers who can't keep it in the park. Obviously, we saw that last night. Now it's, 4 straight wins for LA. They won the series finale in St. Louis, and then the first 3 here at home, the first 2 against Cincinnati, and then the outburst against Oakland last night. And in all of those wins, 5 runs or more, that to me is your, hey, now this lineup is starting to click. Whereas the A's, they scored 2 runs and won a game when the Mustache Man went nuts on Wednesday. Last night with 3 runs, obviously not enough. Oakland's bats just aren't in the type of form that I'm necessarily thrilled about for this one against, but
then the price comes into play. And that's a big key.
And Pena, to say Pena has a bad track record against the A's is not giving it enough credence. He's been awful against. So you go down on the batter versus pitcher, and it's like there's 6 different guys with an OPS over 1,000 against him in the A's lineup. So it's a pitcher who has had a particularly difficult time against this lineup for whatever reason. But if it sounds like I have mixed feelings about this game, I do. I don't.
That's kind of where I am. If you're asking me straight up who I think is going to win, no price involved, I take my chances with the Angels. Not strong.
Yeah, they're like a 6-5.
Yeah. So it's one of those games where there might actually, at the price, you can probably make a small case that there's a little bit of value on the Oakland A's. But for me, I like more value than 10 cents or something like that, at least in where I perceive the line. So for me, it ends up being a pass. If you're a model player who plays any edge that's out there, then you'd probably be on Oakland in the game.
And, I was looking at my initial reaction to the game is, boy, I would really like to see a 9 on the total here.
Yeah, and unfortunately, you're not getting those anymore. Those are done.
In LA.
Yeah, no bargains anymore. Ball's carrying better than it used to, which has a lot to do with the ball.
When's the last time you saw a 10 in L.A.?
Only maybe in a day game.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. It stood out to me as like, wow.
Well, this isn't going to be the only time you see it. You get